Did my title update not work? Alrighty, so the goal today. I started with, I had to borrow 25 bucks from Shane. Got it up 4. I won 433 this morning. So just playing low stakes, not playing too crazy, you know. Um, just just playing normal, even keel poker, uh, but also not being afraid to gamble, you know, when I feel like I'm in a good spot. Uh, anyway, the goal is to get to 50. Just grind up to 50 and then pay Shane back. And then after that, grind up to 50 again. Uh, but only ever risking. Well, I guess this is my system. I want to basically have 10 buy ins of $5. Um, as a reserve. Uh, all the money that I win above 50, I want to use as a buy-in, a full buy-in at the highest stakes that I can, um, or I guess the better way to do it would be the lowest stakes that I can buy in with that full amount at, and then just try to keep doubling it up. I guess maybe when I leave the, I guess I can leave the table whenever I want after I, if I start winning at it. Um, but the next buy-in, I shouldn't buy in. I should buy in with as much as I can above 50, uh, at the lowest stakes table that allows me to buy in with that full amount. And then if I lose all that, I start at the bottom again at 5. Buy in for 5 at, uh, I guess it would be the 2-5 table, 2 cent, 5 cent. Um, so like right here, I have 24, 29.33. So actually, I want to buy in for 4.33 because that gets me down to 5 lives, basically 5 buy-ins. Um, uh, so once I get up to 50, I'll have like 10 $5 buy-ins. And I guess the goal is to get to $550 playing how I described. Buying in for as much as I can. Although I don't think there's any tables on Coin Poker where you can buy in for $400. There might be. If there are, I don't know if people are playing them. Well, I guess that just factors into my decision making. So I'm not taking this too crazy serious. Okay, so I just hit a... You can't see my cards. You can't even see what I'm playing. So I haven't selected the window. Okay, you can see my cards right there. But I'm going to hide them. Haven't hit nothing yet. Now I could put out like a little blocking bet, which might confuse him. He'll probably call it. But this will save me from having to... He folds, which is surprising. I wonder if I could record a video recording file while I'm streaming that shows the cards that I have. Anyway, that's my goals. Those are my goals for this bankroll. But, you know, this is not something I'm trying to do professionally, full time, like a lot of these guys I'm playing with. This is recreational. So my goal is to just become a better poker player, primarily, without going too crazy over anything. And I think the way to do that is I mean, you can study books, you can watch other people play, you can no. So I lost this hand. I had King Jack offsuit. I think, at least for me, the way to improve, or the only thing I can really hope to do, is to just pay attention to the game. My philosophy, a lot of people multi-table. They have like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tables going at the same time on these online websites. But my philosophy is, okay, I got a hand here that I might like to fool around with. This guy, make Schultz min raised. I'm gonna up the stakes a little, see what he chooses to do here. Whole bunch of nothing. Now, a follow-up bet in this position is probably a good idea most of the time. But I have a feeling this guy doesn't respect me. I doubt he hit anything. I doubt he has a pair higher than. Okay, he might have hit that. He might have hit that. He might have hit the king, but he might not have. I might have hit the king. This is not a spot I like to be in, where I don't have anything, and I'm betting that he doesn't have something. Not only does he not have something, but he believes that I have less of a not something. That's not where I want to be. I want to be betting. I think that's how most people lose money playing online poker, is by trying to get a little too tricky. Trying to bluff, essentially. I don't think you need to bluff to get paid. A lot of times with these guys. Oh wow, he just shoved all in, huh? So when that happens, he absolutely has something pretty good. I have ace queen offsuit right here. Chances are he has ace king, aces, kings, or queens. No way he does that with anything less. Unfortunately, that guy's going to fold to my left, and we don't get to see what he had. And I don't get to play my ace queen, but that's okay. Anyway, about getting better at poker. Or just, I think a lot of people can play poker well. At least me. I think I can play well. But the problem is, can I do that hand after hand after hand? Because all these people, you're playing cash games, you're playing with the same guys for like maybe hours on end. So it's more of a marathon than a sprint. Like get a poker session. And, you know, money fluctuates between players. But the goal is to be the guy who walks away from the table in the positives. So, playing well consistently, playing hands well, playing spots in hands well, and then having that add up to playing hands well, and then playing hands well add up to playing sessions well for, you know, however long you played for. is really the challenge. And then on top of that, um, you know, however much you play over the course of a month or a year, doing everything well in terms of bankroll management too. And I think what it all really boils down to is just being present in the game, letting your subconscious mind take everything in while you're playing, because that's valuable information about how people generally play, what generally happens when you do certain things. And I think that's more important than always doing the right thing, at least when you're starting out, is to just do lots of different shit and just observe what happens. Like, for example, just betting with like random hands. Um, theoretically, you shouldn't bet with in bad positions. Oh, this is a whole lot of nothing of a hand with these guys. Guy had a queen at top pair. Slow playing. But yeah, being conscious of what's going on in the game, even when you're not involved in the hand. Just observing like everything. And then uh, just trusting your instincts when you think you have a good chance of making money on a hand. Trusting your gut. Um, Paying attention to, you know, your feelings. Like from Star Wars. I think that's a big part of being a gambler. It's just like knowing, being able to sort of sense when, I mean, for me at least, when I'm playing, every decision point, I try to sort of feel, maybe because I just don't have the brain to calculate a bunch of stuff, but um, what I find myself trying to do to win is uh, because poker is a guessing game. That's all it is. It is a guessing game. You're guessing whether or not you have the best hand, or whether or not your opponent might fold to a certain bet. It's just a bunch of guessing. It's a bunch of guesswork. You're just trying to get lucky. Which I think is a healthy way of looking at it. Because a lot of people uh, they get angry when um, something unusual happens, something unlikely happens, and they lose. They say, that shouldn't have happened. It's unfair. That was not what was most likely to happen. That was a bad beat. It was unlucky. This game is not fair. But that's people who are looking at it like it's a like there's no random element in it. There's a huge random element in poker. It's super random. So you have to have a sense for, you know, for luck when you might be fortunate. I think. Which sounds crazy, but you know, you'd be surprised if some of the top poker players didn't agree with me on that. Whoa. God, I can't play a flop with this at this table. Everyone just wants to shove on me. It's not really. My stack is dwindling against these guys, but it's not the type of hand I want to play there. That guy's making a huge bet out of position. And I wasn't feeling that lucky. But I think it'd be impossible to rise up the ranks of poker players if you didn't believe that there was a way to somehow play better than everybody else. So my goal for today, I'm up 264 right now from my bank. If I lose this, if I bust out of this table, I buy in with 5 again, and I try again to try to work that back up. I even if I start losing, don't get frustrated. Don't get impatient. Don't start making dumb decisions that you don't really think about while you're making them. Uh, just play solid poker, you know? But solid poker can also mean playing very loose at a table. Loose aggressive. I think solid poker changes from table to table. You adapt to the conditions like a chameleon. Oh, hey. Miss Drazen Petrovic. Hello. So yeah, this table is just some small fry at this table. I guess I want to see where I fall in the mix of all these poker players, skill-wise. Um, on coin poker. I'm a little afraid to gamble right now because I don't want to lose this 265, which I think can be a bad thing. Like this two-sit guy, I've played with him before. Last time I played with him, I stacked him multiple times. So I probably shouldn't be too afraid to gamble with this guy. Check, check. Ooh, I would have had a queen high flush. Alright, so now I'm getting the feeling like I just... Okay, that's a terrible hand. Getting the feeling like I want to play whatever hand this is gonna be. It's just a gut feeling. That's all. Just as a little experiment. Let's try it. It's 25 cents. Okay. That didn't work. Did not work. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't the right play. Maybe over the course of 100 hands just like that, that would have been a winning play. See what I mean? It's hard to tell from one hand whether or not you made the correct choice. So I'm kind of bleeding out at this table. That's fine. If I bust, I'll take a little break or something and maybe come back later. But I have not given up hope yet. I'm happy with myself if I'm not on tilt. That's really all I want out of me as a poker player. Don't go on tilt. And don't start getting angry and impatient. Don't start getting impatient. Don't start just lusting after, um, be like, oh, I just gotta get back to $10, so I can feel good about the session. Don't do that. Just, you know, have patience and enjoy playing the game. Enjoy thinking about every hand. And enjoy observing every hand. Observing what happens. Just observing how things play out. And enjoy the process of becoming a better player by just paying attention to things. Don't get emotionally invested in anything. Don't get emotionally invested in the outcomes, which means you don't feel good when you win, but you don't feel bad when you lose. Instead, you like playing the game. And when you're done playing when you're done playing the game and you walk away, you go, "Hey, that was time well spent." Whether you won or lost, you say, "Hey, that was time well spent. I became a better player because I carefully observed everything that happened the entire game." I thought about every decision point. I didn't fly off the rails. And, you know, if I observed that I was an inferior poker player compared to everybody else, that's just how it is. I don't think anyone's ever. You can't really become good at poker when you emotionally need to be good at poker. Or, or financially. Well, I got a whole lot of nothing. Hey, I won. But, It's easier said than done. I'm quite certain that I'm very far from being a Zen poker player. It's just so frustrating when you get a bad beat. I don't know. I like card games. This just happens to be my favorite card game. And the fact that it's played with real money. It's kind of necessary because that's what makes people take it seriously. I mean, there's lots of video games that are card games that um, people take seriously because there's like a tier league ranking system or something. So whatever this next hand is, I want to kind of go in on. It's not the best hand. It's not the worst hand. Maybe I'm just getting bored or impatient. But maybe I've got a good chance to win this hand. Just a feeling. So we're going to raise it up. 30. My buddy Two-Sit just calls. Then we got Buddy, who just calls as well. I'm gonna let Two-Sit start the bidding here. I'll probably bet on it. Maybe not. Jeez. Almost. Almost had a straight. Everybody folds. Some fictus. Raise. I have position on him. This could be a good chance to make some money. Now, if he bets, he could very easily have a better ace than me. Is the thing. Very easily have a better ace. But he just checks. So I'm just gonna entice him with a little 30-cent bet. See what that. Okay, that's good. That's a good card. I don't want any spades to show up. The pot right now is 144. This could take it down. I would imagine that if he had a better ace than me, oh god, oh he was slow playing it, huh? No way he does that without a pretty good ace or something, unless he's being tricky, which he could be. Um, I don't think he would do that. He might even have a six. No, I don't really want to continue playing with $1 at this table. Ooh, he had a full house. Damn. Okay. Alright, so I'm back down to where I started. Gonna sit out. It's disappointing. Back to where I started at $25. Yeah, that guy very sneakily slow played his full house that he flopped. And a lot of people might be like, that's unfair! Why? Why did I have to run into. Why couldn't I flop a full house? You know, ace 4 offsuit versus ace 6 offsuit. But it's just how the game goes. I started with 433 at this table, which is a small stack. I think this might be the only 5-cent, 10-cent game going on right now. No, there's another one that has started up. It's got one player on the wait list. I don't know if I want to keep playing with these guys after they bust me. So I'll leave the table. See, it's not because it's not, oh, these guys are better players. I don't want to keep playing with them. You know? It's, oh, I now have something to prove against these players. So I want it too much. I want to beat these guys too much. Instead of, hey, let's make some money gambling on good spots that we're given, you know? Because that's the best attitude, I think. It's sort of a positive, like, hey, let's gamble on these cards, guys. Let's get some action. Not fold to me. Give me your money and fold. You know, that's once it starts getting real negative like that. I think that's especially bad for the player who is got something to prove, who's like upset that he, you know, got unlucky, really. Upset that his luck was not above average. Certainly not enough to compensate for his poor play, right? So, That's such a huge part, I think, of playing poker online, at least for me, is how do I feel about this game that I'm playing in currently? Because I've played with all those guys before, right? Um, Not all of them, but several of them. But at this point in time, because of recent hands, I'm upset. And, I want to win that money back. I want to prove to them that they're not better players than me, right? There's a lot of ego involved, which is bad. Um, Clouds your judgment. Again, going back to Star Wars, the dark side of the Force clouds everything, clouds your judgment. So, the better attitude is to sort of, it's kind of like fishing, I think. Like you're patiently sort of waiting for something to bite for the right sort of circumstances. There's no there's no outcome dependency that you're attached to. You're just sort of playing the game. You're just playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. To the best of your ability. I think this is the same table. But I'm going to buy in with $5. Someone just take my seat? I don't think so. $5 buy-in. Why does it say 406? That's not right. This son of Fictus guy slow rolled me with the full house last hand. He could be doing it again. It's definitely not the best hand that I'm playing either with. Oh, wow. So all he needs is a king or an 8 to have a straight. Bet's 44. He had a straight. He hit a straight. Seems like they're... I don't care what he said. Everyone folds. first decent hand I've had in half an hour. Alright, so I'm back down to using one of my 5 lives. I don't remember what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to get to 50. Follows up bet with $1? Interesting. Got a flush draw there. King, queen of clubs. Kind of just got a feeling like I want to go all in next turn. Like I just want to go all in on whatever I get. Feeling lucky. Let's see what happens. Raise to 30. See what happens. It's sort of an experiment on my own mind and my own sort of psychology. Poker psychology. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to a gambler's psychology. This guy right now, I bet you he's trying to think. He's probably just multi-tabling, not paying attention. He just raised. Okay, so now I don't just want to shove yet. I want to. The advantage a poker player has, I think, comes from making. It's not just a coin toss, right? It's not just there's not just one turn in the game. A poker player gets his edge from shit. Okay. Down a life. Down a life. But we're going to keep trying. Buying 5. Why does it keep putting me at 4? Did I not save 5? It's weird. Yeah, it's like... Okay, so my gut feeling, it might have been right. That's the thing. It might have been right. In fact, I think it was if you look back at who had what. before the flop. I just want to buy in for another 5 cents here. Oh, I can't see the table. Okay. Yeah, thanks. I forget that. Trying to hide my cards. I think I need to be playing more aggressively, these guys. Damn it, I can't get that 5. Just want to buy him for that 5 cents. So now I got to get back up to... Well, not hitting a lot of... Well, there's a possibility for a king high. Okay, another... Well, we lost the flush possibility, but... Oh yeah, what I was saying was... poker player is able to outplay people because the betting takes place over multiple streets, they call them. Flop, pre-flop, flop, turn, river. 4 streets. Damn, I can't hit anything. Sort of a fast bet by her. I don't know if I'm really playing wisely right now. I'm just trying to... Because I've played with her before. Confecta. It's probably not really who this player looks like. I'm just playing a weak poker right now, to be honest. But that's fine. As long as I am not getting upset and sort of throwing all consciousness out the window. That's all I want. That's all I want to do. And if I lose my bankroll playing like that, so be it. Just want to play conscious poker. Conscious, impartial poker. Conscious, impartial poker. Like a robot, almost. Hey, what's up, curtains? How you been? Good afternoon to you as well. I'm just here losing money. Online poker. So there's 3 overcards on the table. This guy's betting pretty big into that board. And it's a fold. I think all these guys are just better players than I am. Probably. Probably all they do is play poker online. Multi-tabling. I actually enjoy the game of poker. Holy shit, I can't hit anything. It's not looking good. Might be down to 3 lives pretty quick here. If I bust here, I'll try to work this back up. I'll try to grind this back up to $10, which will put me back at even. But if I bust this, I'm going to take a break. Probably come back later. Oh, looks like it might be time to pack it up pretty shortly here. Yep. Oh, Yahoo! Still alive. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to grind this back to 10. And probably take a break at that point. Um, then maybe come back, buy in for 5 again. Probably at the 5-10 cent table. I mean, these guys, I'd be interested to know, like, what country these guys are from. Like, information like that. It seems like I'm pretty average skill player on this site in the lower ranks. It's definitely easier for me at 2 5 cent, I found. Uh, oh, I should have called there. I had 3 5. So I had trip sevens there. Maybe I overplayed it there. I didn't think I hit bet pot, and it seems like I bet a lot more than the pot. Not sure if that button works correctly. So you can kind of feel, I think, that these guys are like tight, aggressive, really sort of like serious poker players. Like they're not doing this for fun, which I think factors in a lot to things. Oh, I'm fucked. This guy just refuses to believe that I have aces. Oh, he had an ace. Shit. That was, see, that's why you don't want to try to steal pots that people check to you. It's okay. Still alive. Still, but that's, you know, this is why you pay attention to things when you're playing a hand. I had an ace queen there. Everybody folded. I probably shouldn't have played that 8-10 hand. But hey, you know, I could have got lucky. I think there's value in sort of playing like a gambler. I know that sounds weird, but all these guys that play online, you know, they're all very educated nowadays. There's a lot of information about poker, no limit hold'em, Texas hold'em. A lot of science behind everything. So this is a folding situation for me, I think. Hmm. I'll call that if no one else raises. Sort of a weird thing, poker. It's like it's a gambling. It's a gambling competition. It's a gambling contest. But your opponents um, can affect the situation. It can affect how much you stand to. It can affect how much you have to risk. It can affect where you stand in terms of, are you going to win the hand at the showdown because of what cards they have. It's not just, you know, can you make an above average hand or something on the showdown. It's, can you have the best hand at showdown, which is largely influenced by your opponents, whether or not they fold. Some people fold stronger hands than they should. Other people fold weaker hands than they should. So the type of hand you have to beat changes depending on your opponents. How much of your money you have to risk is determined by what your opponents do. How much money you stand to win is determined by what your opponents do. But at the end of the day, it's really just a guessing game. You know, what it all boils down to is when the 5 cards are on the board, who's got the best hand. So, you know, it is a guessing game. But, you know, it's like everybody's playing the same game, sort of. Everybody's playing the same game in terms of he flopped top pair. He was slow playing me. We're all playing the same game. It's every man for himself. There's only so many hands that are going to get played. The players that we're up against are all the same for all of us, except excluding ourselves. And we all have just as much ability to call, check, fold, or raise as everybody else. It is a very fair game. Got a raise followed by a re-raise. I have a pretty good hand right here, but I don't want to play it because it's definitely not the best. And I don't want to go bust quite yet. I'd like to grind this back up to $10. Again, recreational. I want to get a feel for how good these guys are at poker, how good I am at poker on this website. I don't need to rocket up the ranks. I can grind it out. I'm okay with that. So I had a bet followed by a raise and a re-raise. I had Jack 10 of diamonds, so that flop would have been pretty good for me. I bet that these guys have ace queen or ace king. There I would have had two pair if the same flop would come. Ooh, 3 clubs. That might have beaten me. I had Jack 10 of diamonds. And these guys are starting to play a little more cautious against each other. There's a straight possibility on the board. There's a flush possibility of clubs. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw kings versus queens here. Oh, he folds. Jeez. So this hasn't been a very successful day, sadly. Having a little trouble getting off the ground here. But I still believe. I would rather not be at this table right now, I think. These guys are trying very hard. So if a 4 comes, I get a straight. And most of the time it's not going to come with one card to come, which means that it's not worth risking that amount for that amount that was proposed. These guys are tight aggressive. Nobody trying to roll the dice here. Hmm. Should probably just rebuy for an additional 5. So I have a little more money to work with. I think I might do that. But then I need to get up to 15 to get back to even. I'm not really having much fun playing against these guys. I can feel the greed, the anger. The desperation. I'll gamble with you, Confecta. Oh, re-raise. Never mind. So poker is a less than zero sum game because there's a rake. So not only does there have to be losers, there has to be more losers than winners. Okay, I'm gonna play like for another 12 minutes. I'm gonna go out before it gets dark. So, we'll see how much I can win in that time. I'm gonna walk away. Come back, play some more later. I only have so much patience for this game. When I stop enjoying it, I stop being patient. I stop having fun. I stop being patient, and I start playing poorly. And the more hands I lose, the quicker I get to that place. And I think that's true for just about everyone. So I have to be careful. If I can not let that happen to me, that's an edge that I have on everyone. See, this table is tough. Can't get any money out of him. It seems like if I believe that I'm gonna get lucky in these hands, I do. It's the weird thing. Um, I think a big part of the game is getting your opponents to believe that they're unlucky, and then it like becomes true. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's sort of the happy-go-lucky attitude. You like kill that in your opponent. Um, they start getting beat. I think the best attitude I could have is like almost like a scientist, just observing what my bets do. Like I had two pair. Just be like, oh, that's interesting. This happened as a result of that. Or that happened as a result of that, you know. Just completely emotionally detached from anything. Because I feel like your opponents can sort of sense um, they can kind of sense like how you feel about a certain situation, good or bad, nervous, you know. Um, this could be good. I have an okay hand here. There's two other players. If I triple up, I'm back to like $6 or $7, I think. Yeah, back to like $6. So I doubled up. So we're coming back. But if you're just totally like zenned out like an alien or something, like an alien scientist, just sort of like poking and prodding like a a subject. Uh, See, like right there, I think what works for me is every decision point. I just try to feel like what's going to get me the most value here, fold, call, you know, or raise, fold, call, or raise. Because I think your subconscious is able to sort of calculate that. We only use 10% of our brains, right? Got to use your subconscious. Ace King versus Ace King. So yeah, like an alien scientist, just sort of observing everything that happens. Um, Jeez, this is crazy hand. Emotionally detached from everything, just sort of more interested to see, just interested to see how certain things affect certain situations. You know, I think that's the best. And then you're playing like randomly. You're almost playing like, and if you play randomly, then nobody can beat you. Nobody can predict what you're going to do in any given situation. Fold, 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 fold. And if you have that attitude, every new hand is an interesting situation to observe and to experiment with, no matter what happened before. I think that's a good poker attitude to have. Just totally detached from everything in the past, any particular outcome. I mean, obviously, you're trying to win. Um, but while you're trying to win, you're also, more importantly, you want to win so you can keep playing and so you can move up the ranks and get involved in more interesting hands to observe and to learn from. So, well, yes, that's the primary. It is a primary objective. It's not the most important objective, winning. The most important objective is learning from every hand. It's like Jim Rohn used to say, if you want to, I forget what he said, but it's like if you want to become wealthy, work on a living. If you want to become exceedingly wealthy, work on yourself. So I think a lot of gamblers, they just want to get lucky. They want to they want to be the lucky ones who don't have to work like everybody else. You know, they get to reap the fruits of good fortune. But I do think if you want to move up these table ranks quickly, you got to be willing to roll the dice a little bit. I'm staying alive here. Staying alive. Well, I tried. I wanted to get this back up to 10. Hung in there. Um, Overall, losing session. But I think I want to head out and get some fresh air before the sun sets on the motorcycle. I might play one more hand, see if I can double or triple up. Post ante. Okay, this is a hand that I am not totally opposed to messing around with. If someone wants to roll the dice, get some money involved here. Let's get some money involved in this hand, boys. Let's roll the dice. That's the kind of attitude that I want to sort of bring to these tables that I play at. Like, hey, we're playing a gambling game, guys. That's what it's about. It's about risking money to make money. You don't have to have the best odds all the time. You don't have to be 100% certain that you have the best chance of winning every time you put money in the pot. Sometimes you can just say, hey, you know what? I felt lucky. So I made, like a crazy bet. It's just more fun that way, too. I mean, you might have some crazy fluctuations in your bankroll, but. So I just got my favorite hand. We'll see if it works out. Possibly. All right. So I have 462. I'm going to get up from the stable. I wish I had more stats on my play at these tables. This is my favorite poker site for sure. Coin poker. Crypto. Crypto coin poker. So I'm down 533 after a lot of playing between last night and this morning, this afternoon. But I'm not totally upset with anything because I feel like I played okay and didn't do anything too stupid at the poker table. I think you can go a long way on these poker sites just by not getting upset going on tilt and blowing your stack. But also knowing when you you should bet, not being afraid to bet, not being too tight, too like stingy with your money. And just sort of calmly winning everyone's money. That's going about your business, winning, just letting people play worse than you and taking their money. Well, I don't know. All I want for myself is to pay attention to myself and the table while I'm playing. And to remain emotionally detached the entire time. And be thinking while I'm playing. Be sort of like, you know, interested. Just be interested. Be interested in the game and the players playing the game. Uh, the entire time. And be able to walk away too. Whether I'm up or down, just be able to walk away at an appropriate time. And take a break, Just a healthy, smart poker player.